teams from around the state of Ohio have slowly been eliminated from the opportunity to play in this game this afternoon, the state championship match for boys volleyball Division II in the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Welcome into Pam Evans Smith Arena for this matchup between St. Charles Preparatory Schools Cardinals and Archbishop McNicholas' Rockets. With OSU standout and elite volleyball founder and owner Jackie Klein, my name's Chris Solecki. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And Jackie, yesterday we were treated to a couple of really good volleyball matches, and the ones left stand before us today. What did you pull away from yesterday that you think is going to be pivotal in what we see between these two teams today?
So both of these squads have a very diverse offense. They're able to deliver the ball to multiple players to score, and that is very apparent in how their hitting percentages are from the last match that they were in. Both teams hit .303, identical in hitting percentage. They also each had 3 hitters that were contributing at darn near close, if not above, to a 300 hitting average, which is just, or hitting percentage, which is very uncommon in this high school world. So we are going to see this be a battle of the offenses.
Well, it's really kind of fun, too, because in this age where we celebrate individuals in their sports, even if playing a team sport, these are two teams that, yeah, you can pick out some guys whose names are a little more recognized, or maybe you've carried a little more water during the season, but when they're playing here on state championship weekend, there's not necessarily one guy you can point to and say he's going to be the X factor.
You're right. So, we saw with St. Charles, Jack Kester's doing his work, Connor Cole, Mladen, Tag, Thomas Clark, Stuart Hankinson's, all these guys are hitting 300 or darn near close to it. Then we flip over to McNicholas and we're looking at Gavin Gerhardt. He was at 208, but we saw in the first set of that semifinal match, he just had some uncharacteristic hitting errors. So that's why his numbers were down slightly. Bryce Dillard in the middle, Ethan Gundren doing the work on the right side. And setting. He's got multiple roles. So it's really nice that these guys have awesome teammates to lean on. They're not feeling like they have to do everybody's job. They can focus on their own.
Well, and the Libros as well both played very important roles yesterday. Kevin Kaser for Archbishop McNicholas and Michael Lasusa for St. Charles. And those guys are going to be important today because playing at the net is the block game is not going to be as important as the serve receive and the dig game.
I agree with you on that too. And from the serving line, you got to bring some heat from the serving line, and target a player on the other side who's struggling through serve reception. And if your own teammate is struggling through serve reception, how do we build back up? How do we carry each other? Those are all things that these coaches have been working with these guys on, from the start of the season, and it's going to be really fun to see them put it together today.
These two teams in their individual matches yesterday combined for 30 service errors and 19 service aces. So there's a little bit of feast or famine, but as a coach, you'll take a little bit of the famine because the feast is so impactful.
And especially at the men's and the boys game, there is definitely that risk versus reward when it comes from the back line because they are doing those jump topspin serves where they're trying to add some velocity on it, making the ball spin through the air and drop. And sometimes that comes with an error or two, which is very different from the girls' game. The girls' game the coaches are constantly saying, get your serve in. Back here the coaches are saying, hey, go back there and hit it hard.
McNicholas comes into this match with a record of 18-4 through the playoffs. They were the number 1 seed. They defeated Mount Healthy, Middletown Christian, Dayton Chaminade Julienne, each of those matches 3-0. Then Bishop Fenwick 3-2, and then yesterday they beat Independence 25-15, 25-12, 25-18. And we'll tell you more about St. Charles, but we're going to step aside right now for the playing and singing of our national anthem. Our national anthem here on Memorial Day weekend from Pam Evans Smith Arena. We mentioned that McNicholas came in with a record of 18-4. St. Charles comes in with a record of 24-2. They were the number 1 seed in Region 5. They knocked off Columbus Independence 3-0, Bishop Hartley 3-0, St. Francis de Sales 3-0 to get to this weekend. And then yesterday they beat Akron St. Vincent St. Mary 3-0. They're the only new entrant in Division 2 from last year. Their win yesterday was 25-23, 25-16, 28-26 over the Irish of Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. And when you look at the bench of these two teams, you've got 2 coaches, each named Coach of the Year in their respective region.
Yeah, and these guys, oh, there we saw it again, the famous tradition of a backflip prior to a match seems to be something that gets their crowd riled up. That came from our Archbishop McNicholas. These two teams have played each other already in the regular season. It went to 4. St. Charles came out on top, but I guarantee the Rockets have been chatting about that, and they're saying, hey, it's time to totally redeem ourselves today, but let's do it and win a state championship in the process.
Julie Mulvey is the head coach for Archbishop McNicholas. She is in her 15th season at the helm and out of Xavier University, and she was named the Coach of the Year in Region 8. And Coach of the Year in Region 5 was Ned Gruber. He's the head coach of St. Charles. He has been at the school for 11 years and has a record of 176-85 at the school. So here we go, about ready to happen. St. Charles in their red uniforms. You see their libero in a white jersey. And for McNicholas, they're in green uniforms. Their libero in black. Serve from the back row, and we are on our way. That one's long. And the first point goes to St. Charles. The officials for today's match on the ladder, first referee Mindy Leonard, second referee is Eva Stebel, and the line judges are Sterling Kaimayomoko, and Keith Cooley. The official score is Sandy Lauer. She is assisted by Steve DeBacco. There's a hit into the net, and so St. Charles gets out to an early 2-0 lead.
2 hitting errors in a row there coming from the Rockets. A lot of it is nerves, so I think it's just they need to settle in and keep working through the process.
Jack Kesters with a serve. It's an overpass from the Rockets, and St. Charles puts it home. So 3 in a row for St. Charles. The Cardinals out strong.
Jack Kesters dominating from that back line. We talked about coaches probably looking at him going, say, keep just swinging hard and fast.
High toss, big swing, but that one goes just a little bit long. So a serving error turns it over to McNicholas.
Now, whenever I'm doing the coin flip at the beginning, I tell, or my athletes are doing the coin flip, I tell them we want receive, we don't want to serve, because you get a point right away if somebody misses it.
There you go.
So they're right back in it.
There's a swing. Connor Cole picks up the point for St. Charles, and the serve comes back to the Cardinals with number 13, Michael LaSousa, to the serving line. High toss for LaSousa. Received in the back. Back set. Big swing. Just long. The swing off the arm of Gavin Gerhardt. Couldn't quite keep it in play.
So St. Charles, you can see the guys, they're pointing over at Gerhardt, and they're saying, basically telling each other where he is. So there's probably some strategy that they expect that ball to go to Gavin Gerhardt.
Outside, down the line, out of bounds. Ethan Gundrum with the swing, but he couldn't keep it in. St. Charles up early, 6-1.
Yeah, so we're looking at that's now their 4th hitting error coming from the Rockets side.
Bump set, Gundrum, too long. The Rockets maybe a little bit of energy here coming out. Everything's a little bit long, and so Coach Mulvey's going to take a quick timeout. 7-1, St. Charles on top. We'll take a break and come right back. Early on in this first championship match, you're watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. want to take another run at one of our line judges' names, Sterling Kamimoku. Got to get that right. These guys do a good job. They work hard. They are voted on by coaches among other criteria to get to this game, and they deserve to have their name pronounced correctly. So, as a guy growing up with the last name Solecki, I understand the challenges. Good serve out of the timeout. Big swing cross court, and that's going to be a point for the Rockets.
It was the perfect time for Coach Julia to take that timeout. These guys just needed to settle in. I mean, the guys that were making the hitting errors at the beginning were the names we called earlier on, the most consistent ones for the team. So just reset. They've got this. Now we're at the service line for the Rockets.
Gerhard with the serve. Here they come across. Gundrum. Roll shot. Dug out. Outside. Mladen. Outside. Well off the net. Carson Tierney recently into the game. There's a big swing down the line, number 28, Stuart Hankinson. He was big yesterday, and that's a big swing today.
Big swing, and we saw him swing cross court a lot yesterday, and he turned that one down the line, telling us that he's got a lot of options in his toolbox.
So now Mladen Tig. Good serve, good dig, and we've got a whistle.
Interesting call. She called one of the Rockets under the net. His foot must have completely crossed under to the other side. Even if a foot is above the line, it's still legal. So it probably happened by Ethan Gundrum when he was pushing off to go pursue the ball. He probably used his push-off foot and it went to the other side.
Gundrum is the setter, and so when that ball is a little bit off the net on a good reception, that's a very real possibility, trying to get to the back row and be the second ball. That serve is long. 9-3, St. Charles with the lead. Floating serve to the middle back. That's a big swing by Hankinson, but man, a great block that stayed in play for the Rockets.
Boy, the Rockets were prepped for that one. They released early knowing that it was going to Hankinson, and they pressed over very well, making that ball go straight down.
Kevin Kaser is the server for the Rockets. There's a back row attack by Tag, and it hits the block and rolls down. That's a point for St. Charles, 10-4.
It was a pretty far set, and he handled it very well, and that's probably because he's left-handed, so that is his strong side for attacking, so it worked in their favor.
Hankinson with a jump serve. Middle back, dug out. Gundrum off the touch. Set to the outside, into the block. Staying alive? No, they're going to call 4 hits against St. Charles. It wasn't a block. It hit the tape and came back.
It's hard to tell that too, but you know, the up referee is right there in front of it, so she's able to see if there was actually contact, so it was a great call.
Ethan Gundrum to the serving line. His team trails by 5. Good serve in the middle. D'Souza came up with it. Now a toss across. Bump set from off the net. That was Tierney. Tight to the net. Second ball across. Kaser with a back set. Swing from the back row. That was Gerhard. Cross court, dug out by Kaser. Nice rally here, back row. That's Gundrum for the point. Gerhard for the point.
Gerhard coming out of the back row, running a pipe is typically what that's called. If it's lower, they'll call it a bick. And so I think that was more of a pipe. It definitely wasn't expected. They weren't ready for it on the St. Charles side.
Gundrum with a serving error turns the ball back over to St. Charles, who leads it by 5, 11-6. To the serving line for the Cardinals, number 7, Donovan Tim. Tim, a 6'1" middle blocker. He's a junior. Gundrum with the second ball. Tierney off the touch, that's going to fall. So there for the touch was Connor Cole, but the ball fell inside no man's land for the point. Rockets have it, trailing by 4, 11-7.
The Rockets are doing a good job of trying to find hands up on the block, and they're trying to tool them by using high fingers and hitting it hard and upward so that it hits a finger and then goes out of bounds or creates chaos.
Kesters with the roll shot, and on the return, it was a swing by number 10, Bryce Dillard, but he hit it into the net. So an attack error for the Rockets, 12-7. St. Charles with the lead. And serving will be number 22, Thomas Clark, the setter. Gundrum, quick one in the middle. Dillard hits it hard and it gets stuck on Hankinson. It just kind of sat on him for a second and then fell to the floor.
It was a great decision, great pass. We talked about the game being more of a serve and pass situation that's going to end up having these teams come out on top. So handling that first ball and passing a 3-pass or a 2-pass is really important.
Connor Cole with a swing down the line, goes off the fingertip of Gundrum for the point. 13-8, and it's back to Jack Kesters at the serving line. He got St. Charles off to a good start in this first set, in his first rotation at the serving line. Gundrum, second ball. Back row, that's Gerhardt. Back set, Tag, cross court, and the lefty puts it home.
Yeah, unstoppable. He was at just an angle that was allowing him to cut that ball very sharp cross court. It was a very impressive attack.
14-8, St. Charles on top. Kesters, that's an ace. Gerhardt couldn't handle the hard serve from Jack Kesters.
You know, there's something about St. Charles, they're kind of being intimidating in that they're constantly talking about who's where over on the Rockets side and getting really excited in good plays, and they're actually trying to target Gerhardt a lot. So mentally, he's got to pass, transition, and attack in one play.
That was Gerhardt again with a big swing down the line on a great reception in the middle back by number 6, Jack Sampson. Jump serve. Back row, Kesters tosses it across, handled outside. Gundrum with the swing, but St. Charles equal to the task. They're going to call it out of bounds as the ball went over the antenna, so that point goes to the Rockets.
That's a hard call to make. That's why we have pros on these corners. Right. Because anytime the ball travels over the antenna or outside of it, it should be called out of bounds immediately.
Ben Jones for his second serve, and that one's too strong. Didn't quite get the top spin on it he wanted, so 16-10 is the score. St. Charles on top. And to the serving line is the libero, number 13, Michael LaSousa. High toss, big swing. These guys will swing hard. There's Gundrum, up and down. Ethan Gundrum.
So with Jones back row setting for McNicholas, now Gundrum's in the front row. We now have Gerhardt hitting out of the back row. They have so many weapons to choose from as long as they can get that pass there for them.
Gerhardt with the serve. Kesters. Tag. It's going to be a free ball across. Here come the Rockets. Quick one. Into the block. That's a point for McNicholas as Jay Clifton gets it.
He was very dynamic yesterday. He's a great blocker, but on the free ball, he does a great job of getting up and ready for that one ball, and it was so fast that St. Charles couldn't get their hands over quick enough to make a good block.
Gerhardt serves too far. 17-12, St. Charles has the advantage. Clifton's got some great hair, too. He could have been in an 80s rock band, no question about it.
Party in the back.
That's right, he's amazing. Tag with the serve. Good reception. Back set. Gundrum dug out by Tag. Here's one. Cross court, out of bounds. So mishit by Stuart Hankinson gives the ball back to the Rockets. They trail by 4, and Kevin Kaser goes to the serving line. Kaser serves Kesters. Quick one in the middle. Blocked. Joust going on, and it's won by number 22, Thomas Clark. Clark the setter, but he's a big, tall kid, 6'4", senior, and he was able to get up and win that joust against Bryce Dillard.
So as soon as the ball crosses and is directly over the net, it's fair game for both sides. And so that's when that joust comes into play. And these guys love jousts. That's the most fun part about men's volleyball is watching the joust.
Kesters cuts it across and immediately has to go over and talk to Clark to think the set wasn't exactly where he wanted it to be, and so they're going to communicate about that.
A little too far outside, which forces him to have to go cross court. As a setter, your job is to get the ball in a location where your hitter has multiple options, line or cross. And I love that they chatted about it.
Overpass gets sent down by the Rockets. So they get the point. They trail now just by 3 with Ethan Gundrum at the serving line. Great effort by Bryce Dillard in the middle. Gundrum again. High toss. Big swing. Hankinson with a reception. Outside. Kester's down the line. Dug out. Off of Gundrum, but it goes off of his shoulder and out of bounds. Point to St. Charles.
And there's nothing you can do about that. When the ball's coming that hard, that fast, sometimes you do have to step in the way of it, which is exactly what Gundrum did, and took the ball actually off of his chest, but it just traveled out of bounds.
Donovan Tim with the floating serve. Good bump across, but miscommunication in the front. Gundrum and Dillard looked at each other, and the ball fell between them. Point for St. Charles. They lead by 5, and a timeout is taken on the floor by McNicholas. 20-15 in set number 1. More to come after this timeout. You are watching OHSAA Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. To 15, St. Charles has the advantage in set number 1. They also have the serve as Donovan Tim will head back to the serving line out of the timeout.
It's crazy. We're looking at the statistics, and everything is balancing back out. Both teams have had 22 hitting attempts. Both teams have had 6 errors, and right now, St. Charles is leading by 1 kill with 8, with McNicholas at 7.
Too long. Gundrum with a pretty good set, but Dillard couldn't do it, and they're going to call somebody from St. Charles on the net, so the ball goes to the Rockets.
Yeah, they called number 2, Kester's, into the net, and he said, my bad, he knew it, so they're going to move on.
20-16, Rockets trail by 4. At the serving line for McNick is number 8, Carson Tierney. Good serve, and that's an ace. Hankinson got his hands on it, but couldn't elevate it.
Carson Tierney is doing a great job carrying his position. I mean, he's hitting .333. He's doing great from the service line, so he's staying consistent and helping carry his guys.
That time Hankinson with a good reception. Nice swing. Number 3, Connor Cole.
That's St. Charles' signature move there. They like to run that 31 fast shoot, but they run it closer to the outside pin, and that really spreads out their offense, and it's hard to defend.
Thomas Clark at the serving line. Here come the Rockets. Quick one. Dillard mishit that one, and D'Souza comes up with it. Outside, Kester's into the block, and it falls to the floor. Good block, and it goes deep, but in the field of play. St. Charles 21, McNicholas 18.
I like how McNicholas blocks. They do a good job of reading and communicating and making sure they get in front of the hitter. They are also pressing over early, which is textbook.
Bryce Dillard with the serve, and he goes just long. St. Charles leads by 4. Jack Kester's his 3rd opportunity in this first set to serve. Good reception in the back. Outside, Gerhardt uses the block and gets the point.
He just did what we call a no-looky cookie. He came in looking like he was going to hit cross court, but then changed it up and hit down the line. Teg wasn't ready for that.
Teg and Cole were both there, but great job by Gerhardt, excuse me. D'Souza with the reception, back set. The lefty Teg. That goes over the net, an overpass from Kaysen. And there to finish was Hankinson.
Good pursuit, smart off-speed shot though coming from St. Charles.
23-19, St. Charles by 4. D'Souza to serve. Kayser comes up with it. Second ball, here's Gerhardt. Big swing. Clark couldn't handle it, point Rockets.
I don't know if he just needed a warm-up, but now he's turning it on. He's going to now be serving for the Rockets, but in the front row, he has been lights out every time he's been getting the ball these past 10 points.
Gavin Gerhardt, a first-team all-region player. Serves Hankinson. There's a back set. Teg, cross-court, dug out. Kaser hustling, but he can't get to it. That ball was a rifle, and it went off of Ben Jones' hands. And Kaser couldn't catch up with it, so now it's set point for St. Charles. Mladen Teg to the serving line. High toss for the lefty. Into the net. That was close. It could have gotten a little spin. It would have gone over the tape, but did not. So McNick gets the point and the serve. Kevin Kaser to the serving line. Back row. Kestner's big point. And set number one goes to the Cardinals of St. Charles, 25-21. We'll take a break. Set number two on the other side of this timeout. You are watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. (25-21), St. Charles took the first set against Archbishop McNicholas out of Cincinnati. And again, Jackie Klein, when you look at these stats, the numbers are staggeringly similar. Maybe the one thing that stands out is side-out percentage. St. Charles did a little better in that, 71% to 60%, but everything else looks like a toss-up.
I know, and I think it was just that run in the beginning of that first set where St. Charles was dominating and the Rockets just had a few hitting errors. And there were 5 hitting errors in a row that we saw, and what did they lose by? By 4 points.
Right.
So, runs are a big deal in volleyball. You have to keep your team that you're playing against from getting those runs, and then that is your number one goal, getting a few points from that service line.
Yeah, St. Charles got up 6-1 in that first set, but now the serve begins with the Rockets. Ethan Gundrum with the serve. Kester's in the back row, and there's an overpass though in there to push it down are the Rockets, so they come out with the first point of set number 2.
You know, I've really been trying to figure out how to explain men's, boys volleyball to the public, and it is so masculine. I mean, these balls are hit so hard.
That one comes off the tape. Thomas Clark with the back set. Kester's off the touch, and we've got a whistle and a net violation against Dillard of the Rockets. So side out to St. Charles. We're tied at 1. Yeah, you were telling me yesterday that there's some arenas where they put speed guns, jug guns inside the arenas to see how hard serves are, spikes are, things of that nature.
Jacob Pastor at Ohio State is serving the ball 80 miles per hour.
That's nuts.
It is unreal. I mean, I don't know if I could get out of the way of a ball, but going 80 miles.
Well, that's the only chance I have of digging it is just having it hit me and somebody else playing it. Tag a bump set. Outside. It goes out of bounds. Hit the floor first. And so the point's going to go to St. Charles. The ball went off the tape, and somebody from St. Charles dove for it. The swing was by Gerhardt, but it went out of bounds before it was touched. And so the serve will come to St. Charles. We're tied at 2, and it'll be D'Souza to the serving line. And he has a serving error, so right back to McNicholas we go with the lead 3-2.
Back and forth. It's a side-out game, and with rally scoring, anytime the ball hits the floor, somebody's receiving a point, where back in the day it used to be side-out scoring, meaning you could only score off the serve. So this is a constant back and forth. It really does feel like tug of war a lot of times.
Big swing that time by Jay Clifton to pick up the point. Goes off of St. Charles and out of bounds, and all of a sudden the Rockets have a 2-point advantage. Dillard with the serve, and he serves into the net.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate service error there. I mean, he wasn't doing a big jump topspin serve. It was just a float serve. You know, I think he was trying to go short. I could see what was going on there, but unfortunate error there.
Mladen Teg to serve. The lefty with the high toss and the big swing. Good reception in the back row. Gundrum with the set. Gerhardt too strong across court. The point goes to St. Charles, and we're tied at 4.
I think in this set we're going to see a lot of ties, and we're going to see a lot of lead changes because these two teams really are pretty evenly matched.
Tag again. Kaser comes up with it. Gundrum, quick one. Little fake play that ended up with Gerhardt with the swing, and that ball goes off the antenna, off the arm of Hankinson, so the point goes to the Rockets. They're up 5-4.
Yeah, and we're sitting right by that antenna, and that was a really good call. It would have been hard for the players to see it, so I could see why they were kind of, arguing that it didn't hit, but it did.
Hankinson with the reception, back set to Tag into the block, but a good job with the block, keeping it on this side. Hankinson blocked again. Here comes St. Charles for the third time. Hankinson off the touch this time. Kaser with the second ball. Gerhardt. Dug out by D'Souza. Bump set. Hankinson goes across. Kaser, back set. Gundrum into the block. That's a tool, and that's a point for the Rockets. Nice rally won by McNick.
Throughout that rally, we saw the ball go from pin to pin. So the setters on both sides are taking advantage of hitters on all fronts, okay? So that makes your middle blocker have to work even harder from your opponent's side.
Ben Jones with the serve. Kester's with a back row swing. Gerhardt with a monster shot. Clark. Back set. Here's Gundrum. Point Rockets as Gundrum swings and finds the middle back.
So that's that exact example I just said. Ball went outside to Gerhardt. Then they received a free ball coming again, and it back set to Gundrum. So now St. Charles middle blocker is having to basically be doing sprints back and forth just to make those blocking moves.
Timeout by the Cardinals. They trail 7-4. More to come after this timeout. You're watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. ago, St. Francis de Sales was the team from St. Charles's region that came to this tournament. St. Charles here for the first time since it's been an OHSAA event. McNicholas was here last year, and 7 of their players are returners. And Jackie, I have to think that as this goes along, that experience, even though they didn't play on Sunday, they only played on Saturday, that experience of being here may play a role.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. There's something about being able to feel the gym that you're in and know that you've been here before. Especially this gym has a really low scoreboard that is going to come to play a lot in this match because it will touch that scoreboard and come back down, and it could affect them because if it touches the scoreboard and goes over, it's called out of bounds immediately.
So we've got an antenna violation. Now they're going to have a quick conversation. 8-4 is what the scoreboard says right now. And I believe the line judge believes the attack from St. Charles hit the antenna.
Yeah, he's saying that the ball hit a St. Charles athlete, hit the antenna, and then went over, despite the fact that the up ref is thinking the point should have been awarded to McNicholas. So we'll see what they come up with here. She's going to wait until they return back to their spots.
And so she will adjust her call. The attack from St. Charles hit the antenna first, and so even though it went off on McNicholas, ultimately the point will go to the Rockets. They lead it now by 5, 9-4. Clark, good back set. Tag dug out nicely. Ben Jones doing work. Gundrum to the back row. It's an overpass, though. And there are the Rockets. Gavin Gerhardt and Jay Clifton with a point.
And it's probably hard to see on your screen or on your television what happened there. But the Rockets were both, the blockers were both over on the other side way earlier than Clark was able to get there, and that's why it came back down on St. Charles' side.
Hankinson across. Bump set by Kaser. Big swing by Gerhardt into the block. And they've got a St. Charles player in the net. So the Rockets get the point and continue to serve. They're now up 11-4.
Both teams are getting a little irritated with some of the calls, but the calls are right. I mean, St. Charles came down from the block and a shoulder and a jersey touched the net. Anytime clothing touches the net, it is considered a violation.
Good block by McNick that time. Hankinson this time doesn't get blocked. It goes into the tape. So the point goes to the Rockets. Momentum is clearly on the side of McNicholas right now, leading by 8.
Now, we were chatting during warm-up, and I had explained to you that when St. Charles was warming up, the majority of the hitters were hitting the ball off the top of the net, which we call the tape. And that's not a great place to be swinging at because that's where the blocker's hands are. And so we're seeing that kind of playing out in this second set.
Serving error by Ben Jones turns the ball back over to St. Charles. It's going to be Stuart Hankinson to serve for the Cardinals, trailing 12-5. That serve off the tape, but it does clear. Back set. And another one hits the antenna. So that one off the arm of Gerhardt. The point goes to St. Charles. They trail by 6. Line judges are busy in this one.
Very busy, yes. It's fast, too, so they've got to be paying attention.
Hankinson again off the tape. Kaser with the second ball. Gundrum off the block and out of bounds. Point Rockets.
Having Gundrum front row really helps the Rockets. It's really a great opportunity, and Ben Jones is doing an awesome job of delivering sets that are hittable in a location that gives their hitters multiple options.
Gavin Gerhardt to the serving line. And that goes down in front of Hankinson. And Hankinson kind of looks at D'Souza, and I think there was a little confusion as to who was going to play that.
So that intimidation factor we saw coming from St. Charles, where they were confident, we're kind of seeing that slip over to McNicholas' side, and we're seeing a little bit of, not smack talk, but definitely some excitement on their end.
Big swing by Jack Kesters into the block. It goes down on McNicholas' side, so side out for St. Charles. They trail by 7. And Donovan Tim to the serving line. St. Charles like to put together 2 or 3 here and build themselves a run and climb back in. Good serve. Bumped by Gerhardt. Big swing. I believe that was Gundrum. And off the block, the point goes to the Rockets.
Yeah, the Rockets are getting a lot of opportunities to swing, where St. Charles isn't getting as many opportunities because they're struggling with that first ball contact.
Kaser with the serve. D'Souza comes up with it. And Kesters hits one off the block and out of bounds.
Yeah, and that was a great pass, resulting in a fast tempo set that's able to go to the outside. We call that a go set. So they're definitely trying to run that fast offense that they say that they're known for.
Thomas Clark with the serve. Quick middle. And down in the back row, back corner, Bryce Dillard found the spot.
I mean, this is fast tempo offense versus fast tempo offense. I mean, we saw that was a 31 set going to Bryce Dillard, and that's a hard ball for a setter hitter to connect on. They work on that a lot in practice, and they executed that very well.
Gundrum a little too strong on that serve. Side out to St. Charles, 16-9. McNicholas has the lead, but Jack Kesters has been very good from the serving line, and he's the man who stands there now. Floater. Outside. Into the block. Dillard keeps it alive. What a swing. That's Ben Jones, the setter from the far side, well off the net, and just with no hesitation picked up that point.
And no hesitation coming from Ethan Gundrum, the setter. I mean, I'm going to set you again. You messed up the first one, no problem. Here comes another one. And the confidence level was just very, very good.
Tierney with the serve, and there's a big swing by Hankinson into the block and out of bounds. Point for St. Charles. 17-10, and we're kind of seeing a mirror of set one in reverse. McNicholas got out to a big lead, and they just kind of keep that 6-7 point lead. And there's a serving error, which does not help St. Charles' cause, because now it's an 8-point advantage for the Rockets.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen him have a little bit of a rhythm issue on his serve there. So hopefully he can get out of that. And it's not just a mental thing.
Dillard with the serve. Outside, off the touch. Going to be a free ball across. Outside, Hankinson. Bang! Stuart Hankinson with a huge swing.
So I was a setter, so I have to comment on how smart that was of Clark. Clark was pass tight. He went up, and in most situations, that usually goes to the middle, and he was able to deliver that ball outside. So there was a one-on-one blocking situation for his attack.
Mladenteig gets the ace down in front of number 6, Jack Sampson. And now McNicholas' lead is 6, 18-12, as Teg comes to the serving line once again. Gerhard receives, right back to him. Off the touch, outside, Hankinson into the block and down. Point for the Rockets as Jay Clifton was there on the block.
Yeah, and they expected that. They left a little bit early, so both blockers were able to be there and be set up perfectly.
Ben Jones to serve, leading by 7. And that one goes out of bounds. Perhaps a mishit from Jones.
Yeah, it hit his thumb weird. He even is admitting that to his teammates right now and moving on.
Stuart Hankinson to the serving line now. 19-13, McNick with the lead. St. Charles with the serve. High toss, big swing right into the net.
So back and forth service errors, which when I make a service error and the other team makes the service error right after, I usually am like, phew, thank goodness. You know, and so back and forth here, but these guys need to clean it up from that back line.
That was the 15th service error between these two teams in a set plus. D'Souza with a dig. Outside, Kesters into the block and straight down. Nicely done by Jack using his left hand.
So there's a hitting toolbox in volleyball. You know, obviously you want to get a hard-driven kill. You also need to know how to tool the block, and so Jack Kesters does a good job of finding fingertips and pinkies and using them to his advantage.
Back bump, Gundrum sends it across. Quick one. And that's Connor Cole with the kill. And St. Charles is climbing back, trailing by 5, 20-15.
That really fast shoot set really puts the Rockets' blocking situation at strain. They have to decide if they're going to release early outside or if they're going to hang tight because the set might go back.
Serving error by Donovan Tim gives the ball back to the Rockets, 21-15. The 16th service error of the match. Hankinson with the reception. Quick one. And Connor Cole hits it down for the point.
And I agree with that set. I think that that's what they need to continue to do because that seems to be causing the most stress on the blocking for McNicholas. So as long as they can get a first ball contact on the St. Charles side, they're going to continue to cause that stress for the blocking.
Into the block, that's Tierney who picks up the point for the Rockets, 22-16. Ethan Gundrum to the serving line. McNick needs 3 to tie the match up at 1 set apiece. High toss, big swing. D'Souza with a reception. Clark back set, really tight, overset in fact, and Dillard's there to dunk it home. Point Rockets.
Yeah, that was the best time to get a set is sometimes from the other team. You know, an overpass or in that situation, a missed set. Those are the fun ones, and usually you see these guys go up and try to bounce the ball off the floor, but I love that he was able to keep that in control.
23-16, McNicholas has the lead. St. Charles takes a timeout. More to come after this. You are watching Championship Volleyball on NFHS Network. With Ohio State University volleyball standout Jackie Klein, also the founder and owner of Elite Volleyball. My name's Chris Solecki. I just talk. And we're here at Pam Evans Smith Arena. Glad to have you along with us for this state championship volleyball game in Division II. There's another point for the Rockets on the overpass, and now they just need 1 to seal the second set. Ethan Gundrum at the serving line. The high toss. Dug out by Kesters. Outside. They keep it alive. They send it across to the Rockets. Bump set by D'Souza. Tag, cross court, but it goes out of bounds. And set number 2 goes to McNicholas. Kesters is asking for the official to make an adjustment to the call. She will not. And at the end of 2, we are tied at 1. More to come after this timeout. You're watching Championship Volleyball on NFHS Network. Charles took set number one, 25-21. McNicholas responds with a 25-16 win in the second set. So here we go with number three. And Jackie, now that we've seen both of these teams take one, they felt each other out. Everything else we've seen has been awfully close. What's going to be the difference?
Yeah, right now it's just a back and a forth. Right now what we need to see is that the captains are actually chatting with the up ref, okay? So I think she's talking to them about, hey, trust these referees. They're pretty good at what they do, so stop arguing all the time every time you think that a play was called right or wrong.
High energy, certainly. These kids really want to win, obviously. It's a state championship for your school. There's school pride involved. There's a big swing by Dillard, and it is met with the block by Connor Cole of St. Charles, 1-0 Cardinals.
And Connor Cole is on fire. Statistically, in the middle, he is hitting 1,000. That means every time he's been given the set, he's been getting a kill. So I expect more balls to go his way.
Yeah, and that's on 7 attacks. I mean, sometimes you see 1,000 and it's 1 for 1, but on 7 attacks, that's pretty legit.
That is pretty consistent, definitely.
Point goes to McNick off the swing, hitting the block, going out of bounds. 1-1, and it'll be Ethan Gundrum to the serving line. Good jumper. Gundrum right into the net, and he's frustrated with himself.
He is, yeah. That's not a good one to miss, but they still have time here to make it up.
Michael LaSousa to the serving line. The libero is a 6'1 junior. And he serves it too long.
It'll be interesting to see what Ned Gruber does in that scenario. We've seen that LaSousa has now missed 3 serves in a row from the back line, so he may allow his middle to stay in and actually serve next time around.
Tierney serves Kesters that time. Teg sends it across, but there's Gerhardt to dunk it home. Teg was off the net a little bit, couldn't put much on it, and Gerhardt climbed the ladder and dunked it home. 3-2 McNicholas. Tierney with a good serve. Clark dunked across. We've got a net violation. It's against the Rockets.
We've seen a lot of calls in this game, more than we saw in the semifinals. You know, balls that are close to the antenna. Maybe it touched, maybe it didn't. Players close to the net. You know, so it is something that these refs are having to spend a lot of time watching.
Good dig in the back. Quick one in the middle. Dillard sends it across for the point. He was able to navigate Donovan Tim at the net and get it to fall in the campfire zone, if you will.
Yeah, and that's probably something McNicholas talked about prior to this match, that a weakness of St. Charles is when they have an off-speed shot coming at them. So if you hit a few balls, you should throw in a tip, is probably what Coach Julia Mulvey has said before this match.
Dillard got the ace last time right through, and there's a second one right through Kester's hands. 2 in a row have gone right through his hands for the point. McNicholas up by 3. Dillard again. Serves Kester's again. Clark goes down to get it. Hankinson into the block, but he goes out of bounds. He tooled it well, and that point will go to St. Charles.
Probably the smart set, because Ben Jones is in the front row for McNicholas. And Ben Jones is the shorter of the 3 blockers, so you definitely want to try to set over the shorter blocker as much as possible.
Stuart Hankinson to the serving line. 6'4", McNick has the lead. Hankinson serves out of bounds, another serving error. That is now the 19th serving error between these two teams. On the positive side, there's also 8 service aces. Here's Ben Jones to serve for the Rockets. D'Souza with a very high reception. Outside, Kesters did a nice job. Instead of swinging hard, he kind of finessed it across the net off the top of the fingertips.
Right, and that's another thing in the toolbox, right? You have to be able to tip the ball. You also need to be able to roll shot a ball. And so we've seen him tap into multiple tools in that toolbox today.
Donovan Tim with the serve. Pass to the outside. Big swing by Gundrum, received by Kesters. There's Tag who goes up and hits it off the block and down. Point for St. Charles. They trail by 1.
They love to use him in the back row. It's a red set that's out of the right back. He is left-handed, and so that is more of a dominant side for him when he's over on that right side. So anytime they are able to do that, they're going to give him the ball.
There's an ace by Donovan Tim as Jack Sampson has it goes off his fist and out of bounds. We are tied at 7 in set number 3. Tim again, middle back. Kaser comes up with it. Outside, Gundrum from off the net. Tight to the net. Kesters, big swing, great set, and Kesters finished strong.
So there's that big swing that we know he's good at too, and we've seen him throw in a tip, and we've seen him throw in a tool. You know, what's next? Probably a roll shot. He can do it all, friends.
Mr. Versatility, no question. Back set. Gerhard picks up the point and breaks the momentum momentarily. We are tied at 8.
So that was actually Connor Cole. He missed that block, and he owned it. He said, hey, guys, that was me. I went the wrong way.
Gerhard to the serving line. Good serve. D'Souza comes up with it. Kesters tosses it. It's going to stay in play. No, it's not going to stay in play. The official said the ball went over the antenna. So it was a good effort by the Rockets, but unable to convert, and the point goes to St. Charles. They lead it 9-8.
I think we need a statistic line about how many times the ball is gone outside or touched or over the antenna today. That seems to be a common call.
Thomas Clark with the serve. Back set. Gundrum hits it hard. D'Souza comes up with it. Tag with the second ball over. The Rockets now with a free one. Kaser sends it across. Tag. Clark back to Tag. Dunked across. Kept alive. Gundrum pounds it. Clark can't come up with it. And the point goes to McNick, and we are tied at 9.
So we use terms like velocity. So velocity is the relationship of distance and time. So if you can get a ball onto somebody faster, you're going to get that point easier. And so that's what Gundram's good at. He went up and he hit that ball as hard and as fast as he could, and St. Charles just couldn't handle it in time.
That ball was hit with a little authority as well. Connor Cole hit it off the touch, straight down to the floor. Point for St. Charles. They lead at 10-9. Jack Kesters to the serving line. Kesters has one service ace today. And there's one that Dillard just airmails. He couldn't get on top of it, and it missed the back row by more than a little.
He was aiming for hands, but they dropped their hands. There was nobody there. Went right out of bounds.
Good swing, and that's an ace. Kesters gets his second ace of the match. And St. Charles leads by 3.
We have some disagreement coming from McNicholas' bench, who is actually right there on the line. They thought it was out. But, you know, it is a human eye. We don't have technology out here quite yet to make those calls for us. But that one was out of bounds. Sometimes the ball never lies, though.
That's right. 12-10, St. Charles with the lead. Ethan Gundrum to serve for the Rockets of McNicholas. High toss. D'Souza with the reception. Clark, back set. Tag close to the net. They're trying to battle, and here comes the ball across on a free. D'Souza misplays it. And immediately going over to him is Connor Cole to tell him to keep his head up.
Yep. And that's a great teammate. Get your chin up, you're fine. Next ball, don't worry too much about that one. We've got another one coming at us quick.
And St. Charles still has the lead. And Gundrum will make sure that remains because he serves that one into the net. So St. Charles leads by 2. And D'Souza can perhaps make up for it with a serve here, although he has struggled from the serving line this afternoon.
Yeah, and Coach Ned Gruber came over to really chat with him about it, hopefully trying to get his mind off of it, but it didn't quite work.
It did not. That one was a floater, and D'Souza just kind of has that look right now as if he's a little frustrated with everything that's going on around him.
Or all eyes are on me.
Yeah.
You know, he's just got to handle that first ball contact. That's his strength.
Gundrum with a good dig, back set. Gerhardt hits it to Kesters. Clark outside. Hankinson. Kaser with the second ball. It's going to be a freebie across. Gerhardt. And that's out, just out. And D'Souza did a good job pulling his arms back just in the nick of time.
D'Souza, he was mid-dive. and pulled his arms back on that. That would be a fun replay to see.
So Mladen Tig to the serving line now. St. Charles leads by 2. Out just long.
So the guys came slower in the reasonings that there's a lot more balls that hit the floor quickly, or there's more errors. You know, in the girls' game, it's just constantly a long rally.
Thomas Clark on a second ball goes up and kind of dunks it down. Picks up the point for St. Charles. Not how they drew it up probably, but they get the point nonetheless. Hankinson to serve. Stewart with the toss in the swing. Gundrum outside. Gerhardt straight down.
Whoa! There is a hole in the floor now that they must prepare prior to. No, just kidding. There really isn't a hole in the floor. But that is a great swing, landing on the 10-foot line.
Ben Jones to serve. His team trails by 1. D'Souza with the reception. Outside to Kesters, who hits it off the antenna. He was hoping that they'd say the Rockets touched it first, but no such luck, and we are tied at 15. All in set number 3. Each team took one of the first 2 sets, and Jones serves it out of bounds. So that'll be another serving error and an unforced error. 16-15. St. Charles leads, and Donovan Tim to serve. And he has a serving error right back.
Wow, they just keep trading those service errors. If one team could just handle that, they would be way ahead.
25 service errors thus far between the 2 teams. And make it 26 as Gerhardt serves one right into the net as well. That's 3 straight, by the way.
Yeah, and serving the ball into the net is an unforced error. I mean, if you're going to at least make an error, make it long, deep, fast. At least it's got to go through a player, and they have to make a decision, right?
There's Gundrum, but Gundrum is blocked. Kesters and Cole for St. Charles there to deny the swing, and now St. Charles leads by 2. Thomas Clark to the serving line. Outside. Good job by Gundrum to send it across. Quick, and there's Connor Cole with a big swing and the point for the Cardinals.
That was such a smart play by Clark, getting that ball to Cole. Remember we said Cole was just hitting phenomenally. Before he was hitting 1,000, he's now at 8, 9. But still, that's my go-to hitter, especially off of transition.
Timeout taken by McNicholas. They trail by 3 in this very important 3rd set. Each team won one of the first 2, and so this one is certainly one that will give the team that wins it a decided advantage going into the 4th set. And man, again, we look at these stats and they're so similar. We'll say that St. Charles in this set hitting much better, hitting 438 as a team against 125 for McNicholas.
Right, hitting a little bit cleaner. I will have to correct my statistic on Connor because they just changed it. He is still hitting 1,000. For his 9 attempts, he has now 9 kills. That's a great day, and what a game to come out and have that statistic.
Listen, you make it simple math when you don't make any mistakes. You're just going to be perfect and bat 1,000 all day long.
Yes.
He steps to the serving line out of the timeout. He also has a couple of blocks this afternoon. He has been a very important part of this team. Thomas Clark to serve. Kaser. Back set, Gundrum. Off the scoreboard. Hankinson sends it across, and they're going to dunk it down, but St. Charles is going to hang with it. Second ball. Here's Gundrum from well off the net. Blocked. They keep it alive again, but into the net goes Kaser, and the point goes to St. Charles.
That was the right idea, though. It just nicked the net and came back down on their same side, but Kaser, that was the right spot to go to.
Blocking for St. Charles the last couple of points has been just tremendous. Ben Jones with the back set. Gundrum again into a block, and that's down. Goes out of bounds, so the point goes to the Rockets. Good block, but they couldn't keep it inside the lines.
It's a fun block. Unfortunately, it traveled completely across the court and out of bounds. That's telling you how hard these guys are hitting the ball.
Quick one. They keep it alive. Set to the outside. Tierney into the block. It goes out of bounds, and so that'll be a point for the Rockets. And now the deficit is just 2, 20-18. Kaser again. D'Souza. Clark outside. Tague off the touch. Point for St. Charles.
And here's where that run needs to come in. So St. Charles needs to get a point here to secure kind of that momentum moving into this next set. But if McNicholas can side out here and get 2 points on the line, they're right back in.
Outside, Tierney into the block. Kaser. Jones, quick one. Dillard sends it across, but it's received. Back set. Tague down the line. Point St. Charles on a big swing.
And that's where St. Charles, using that tandem play out on the outside pin on the left side, is just creating that stress for the Rockets, because the middle from the Rockets has to commit to those 2 attackers out on the left side, leaving that right side completely open.
McNicholas takes their second timeout. They trail set number 3 by 4. More to come after this timeout. You're watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. If only they could all be like this. We have been involved in a tremendous volleyball match to this point. St. Charles won the first set. McNicholas won the second set. St. Charles leads by 4 in set number 3, 22-18. And out of the timeout, Jack Kesters to the serving line for the Cardinals. Kesters with a high toss. It goes out, so a serving error for him. McNick's deficit is now 3, and the serve comes back to the Rockets, and Ethan Gundrum, who has a pretty big arm as well, goes to the serving line.
This is a great situation for McNicholas. One of their best servers. If he could get a few points here, the momentum shifts once again.
Off the tape, D'Souza digs it. Outside, Hankerson off the block. Kaser set to the back row. Out of bounds, just missed.
That was a weird angle for him. He actually took that ball on the left side of his body, so he just didn't have full power use from his core or from his arm.
Connor Cole comes out, and number 8, Matthew Brown, comes in to serve for the first time in this contest. Brown serves middle back. Quick one from Gundrum to Dillard. Back set. Tague off the net, out of bounds. St. Charles wanted a touch. Nobody saw one. Nobody matters. Nobody in blue. A lot of people in red did, but nobody in blue saw it. So the serve goes back to the Rockets. Carson Tierney. And a timeout taken by St. Charles before Tierney can serve. So 23-20 is our score. The Rockets trail. They will have the serve when we return. You are watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. McNicholas has used both of their timeouts. St. Charles just used their first. They have one left. They're hoping they can finish this one out without having to take it. To the serving line for the Rockets is number 8, Carson Tierney. Tierney's a junior outside hitter. Off the tape, Hankinson comes up with it, right back to him. Into the block and back to St. Charles' side. Tight one at the net. There's a bump set. Gundrum outside. Gerhardt right down in front of D'Souza. And the point goes to the Rockets. And it looked like St. Charles was hoping that there was an attack violation, an over-the-net violation against the Rockets that was not called.
Yeah, they thought that Gundrum, the setter, who is a back row player, actually touched the volleyball on their side, but they wasted time talking about it mid-play.
That's out of bounds. Off of Tag. And now McNicholas trails by just one, 23-22. Timeout, St. Charles. Oh, the drama.
You have to expect it, though, coming from these guys. They're competitive. They want to win. They want to follow the rules. They want to make sure the rules are being followed on both sides. So I don't think that it's bad. It's just how do you deliver that message? It has to be respectful. That's expected here, which you have to commend the OHSAA for putting those rules in place, making sure these guys know it's got to go through a captain, and these women that are doing the up ref and the down referee, they actually have headsets in, so they're communicating with each other, so they don't have to rely on a hand signal coming from, their counterpart in this role.
Yeah, the technology for these officials, that's really, really helpful. The ability to talk back and forth. And certainly, as you've watched and experienced a lot of championship matches in the OHSAA throughout the year, you know that officiating is something that is of high premium quality importance for the OHSAA. It's what makes these sporting events able to be played. And if you have an interest, you should reach out to the OHSAA and find out how you can become an official. There's a serving error out of the timeout, so a good timeout for St. Charles. The Rockets trail by 2. And to the serving line is Mladen Teague, who has the chance to give St. Charles the win in this third set. Bumper by Casey. Sends it across. Clark, back row set. Gentle across. Gundrum outside, tight at the net, into the block, out of bounds.
Very purposeful play there. He actually, it's called a wipe. So he reached, touched the ball, made sure the ball was touching the blocker's hands, and then swiped it out of bounds.
Dillard with the serve. Clark keeps it alive. It's going to be a free ball across. Here come the Rockets. Outside, Gerhardt. It's out. And set number 3 goes to St. Charles, 25-23. St. Charles 2, McNicholas 1. Set number 4 on the other side of this timeout. You are watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network. with Jackie Klein, Ohio State setter from back in the day and founder and owner of Elite Volleyball. My name's Chris Solwecki. Thanks so much for joining us for this Division II state championship matchup between the McNicholas Rockets out of Cincinnati and the St. Charles Cardinals out of Columbus. 2-1, St. Charles has the advantage as we get set for set number 4, and I feel like a broken record, Jackie, but I keep marveling at the fact that statistically anyway, these two teams are incredibly similar.
I mean, looking at this, each team has 28 setting assists. They have 31 kills. They each have 31 kills total. I mean, 26 digs for McNicholas, 27 digs for the Cardinals. I mean, we're looking at pretty much an identical team. It's almost like they're looking in the mirror across the net.
Tierney sends one deep. Kesters may have saved him on that one, playing a ball that might have gone out. That one goes into the block and out of bounds, so Tierney and Dillard team up, but to no avail. The point goes to St. Charles. They lead at 1-0.
So we are going to see that LaSousa is going to come off and not serve. They brought in Matthew Brown, and this happened in the last set also, and he did a great job of getting the ball up and in.
And he does it again here. In fact, Jones has a little bit of trouble. They get it back into Gerhardt. He does a nice job hitting it off of Kesters in the back row, and he can't field it cleanly, so the point goes to McNick. We are tied at 1. Brown goes out. LaSousa comes back in through Connor Cole. Tierney with the serve. LaSousa with the reception. Bump set. Dunked home by Gerhardt and unable to dig it. LaSousa was there, Hankinson was there, neither could pull it up. 2-1, McNicholas.
Back to that overpass. These guys love it when the other team sends over an overpass, and I'm actually surprised they're not cranking it down with a hard attack, but it's good that they're keeping it in control.
Out of bounds on an overpass. It also goes out of bounds, so a mistake for St. Charles, and McNicholas has a early 3-1 lead.
You know, those overpasses is probably like when you have a clear shot at the hoop in basketball and you could dunk it, but instead you do the layup. I think that's what these guys are doing. They're just trying to make sure that they don't accidentally hit it off the back wall.
3-2 after the serving error. The ball comes to the St. Charles Cardinals. Mladen Tig serves off the top of the net, outside. We've got a net violation against St. Charles.
And I agree with her. Cole was in the net. The big thing is they're just not letting it go. And that may have happened a lot in the regular season. Referees may have not been quite sure, so they let the play continue, but they're sure here.
There's Hankinson up and through the block and down for the point. 4-3, McNicholas leads. St. Charles has the serve, and Stuart Hankinson will take the honors at the serving line. Hankinson, 6'2" senior. Too strong. 5-3 McNicholas needs this one to push it to a 5th set. If we get there, we'll tell you about some scoring changes, some different things that happen in set number 5. Right now, Ben Jones to serve. Serves Kesters. Hankinson back to Kesters, into the block. They keep it alive. Clark with the back set. Tag. And that was really well played. Went all the way across to the other side, and Tag was able to hammer it home.
Now, I mentioned to you between sets that I am just thoroughly impressed with these guys' level of volleyball IQ. I mean, for Clark to be standing close to the referee on the left side and know that Tag is available and right back, I mean, that's a level of IQ that you know these guys are playing in the offseason. You know that they're being coached by some great coaches throughout their career here.
Big point for McNick. They lead at 6-4. Gerhardt back to serve. He serves it off Hankinson, who couldn't receive it cleanly. Clark couldn't dig the miss hit, and McNick leads by 3.
That was a great float serve that traveled high, right off of the neck area. And if you can't get out of the way, you're gonna hit that off your chest, and it's really hard to continue to keep the play going.
Kesters comes up with that one, and now he's going to send it across. Blocked in the middle. Kaysen outside. Gundrum hits the scoreboard and goes across, so that's immediately a dead ball. Good call by the officials.
Immediately a dead ball, so we knew this was going to come into play. You know, the ball, if it goes up and hits that scoreboard or anything in the ceiling or rafters and comes down on your side, if you still have an extra play, you can continue, okay? But if it hits the antenna or anything in the rafters and goes over, it's immediately out of bounds.
And that one hit the very bottom of the scoreboard. Didn't hit it hard, grazed it, but you definitely saw the trajectory change. And so it is Rockets 8, Cardinals 4, and St. Charles takes a timeout. Try to slow the momentum of McNicholas. This is the fourth set, best of 5. St. Charles leads it 2-1. But McNick up early in set number 4.
And this is how a championship match should feel. There should be a lot of momentum shifts and ties and point changes. And honestly, going to 5 is almost expected.
Yeah.
Because both of these teams are very good and have worked really hard and practiced really hard and learned so much throughout their careers. But now this battle should feel this way.
McNicholas, 5 kills and 6 attacks with no errors. They're hitting 833 in this set very early, of course. But that has led to their 4-point lead. Gavin Gerhardt to serve out of the timeout. Clark, quick one. Pushed across. Kaysen outside. Gundrum off the touch. LaSousa couldn't come up with it, and the point goes to McNicholas, who leads now by 5.
So we talked about how Connor Cole was just a huge part of the St. Charles offense. Well, McNicholas has already talked about that too, and so they were ready for that ball to come to him, and they were able to dig that up and convert it into a kill.
After going 9 for 9 to start, he's now 9 for 11. That's a swing and a kill for St. Charles. They get the point. Trailing by 4, and they get the ball back.
We talk about volleyball IQ? Exactly. That's exactly what Cole should have done, is change it up, and he did. He ran the one ball in the middle, resulting in the kill.
Kaser with the reception. Gundrum tools Kester and gets the point.
Ben Jones did a good job of faking out the St. Charles block. Cole was thinking that ball was going outside, and instead he shot it behind.
Clark outside. Teg. And they all tapped themselves on the head because that was off the head of a rocket.
That's live. I mean, in volleyball, any part of your body, if you contact it, you can keep playing it, but these guys like it when it goes off somebody's head.
Kesters with a good serve. Quick one in the middle. Dillard sends it across. LaSousa sends it back across, too strong and out of bounds. Point goes to the Rockets. Ethan Gundrum to serve. His team leads by 5, 11-6. High toss. He serves LaSousa, who receives it well. Back row, pushed across by Kesters. Blocked by Jones. Tig into the block, and that's a point. Kaser couldn't get there fast enough.
Yeah, and that's just the product of spreading out your offense. Going to the outside, then going to the right side, then going to the back row, and then repeating. I mean, that's just part of being a great setter.
Back in to serve, number 8, Matthew Brown. LaSousa goes to the bench. Off the tape. Overpass, trying to keep it alive. We've got net violation. It's going to be called against St. Charles. Yeah,
so Mladen Tag, he actually swung through and hit the net with his arm.
12-7, McNicholas. It's a little harried here. I guess they're getting a little tired, perhaps. It's been a very active match. There's an overpass, dunked down by Gerhardt. 13-7, Rockets. Carson Tierney serves LaSousa. Clark outside. Hankinson down the line, out of bounds.
That's a great play. Just barely out of bounds, though, and that's giving McNicholas here this run that they wanted, needed to win this set.
McNicholas still hitting lights out here in this set. 8 for 9 with no errors, hitting 889. 14-7, McNick has the lead over St. Charles in set number 4. More to come after this timeout. You're watching championship volleyball from the OHSAA on the NFHS Network. Carson Tierney back to the serving line for Archbishop McNicholas. He's been an important part of this Rocket attack. 5 kills, 12 attacks, no errors. He's hitting .417. He's also got a service ace, a couple of digs, a block, and he serves Kesters in the back row out of the timeout. Pushed across by Hankinson. And that one goes into the net off the arm of Ben Jones, so that's a side out to St. Charles.
Here's where those runs need to come in, and what you need to do as a team is focus on getting runs of 3 points. So they just got the side out, that's one. That means on the service line, focusing on trying to get 2 points while they still have possession of the ball. So, I would have called that one up. Off the toe, up.
Yeah.
But it looks like Jack Kester thought that it was down too because he didn't even freak out at all.
Bryce Dillard with the kill. He serves it off the tape and over. Back set. Teg off the touch. They try to keep it alive. Hustling is Dillard, but he can't elevate the bump, and so the point goes to St. Charles, as does the serve. 15-9, McNicholas on top.
He was too fast for that. He got on that, and his body got in the way of his arms.
Stuart Hankinson to serve for St. Charles. Gundrum outside, Gerhardt into the block and down. That's a point for the Cardinals.
There's that run that's starting to happen.
15-10, McNick with the lead, but Hankinson to serve again. Outside, Gerhardt throws it off the block. Clark outside. Kesters across. Gerhardt with a second ball. Received and sent right back across. Outside, Gerhardt again. Down in front of LaSousa.
That was a phenomenal play. For Gerhardt to be ready on the weird first contact, he went up and hit the second contact. That was brilliant. And then to be prepped and ready, there's a lot of work that goes into that landing and transitioning, getting back up and available, and mentally and physically, and he handled that very well. Yeah,
footwork is not to be overlooked on either of these teams. It's very, very important, and they're all very, very good at it. Their approaches, all of it. So Ben Jones to serve. And that's an ace. Hankinson watched it go past. He thought it was going out.
Now, personally, I think this is McNicholas' strongest rotation. They've got Gerhardt and Gundrum in the front row, so Ben Jones needs to hold on to this serve here.
And there's an ace by Jones. It creeps over the paint, or over the tape, I should say, and Clark couldn't pancake it up. For the second straight play, a little good housekeeping as these players are sweating. It's been a very physical game, and so when they go to the floor, they leave a little residue behind.
It gets slimy.
It gets slimy. That's a good way to look at it. Ben Jones to serve again. 18-10, McNicholas. He serves Hankinson. Clark outside. Kesters goes high. Cross court, out of bounds. Tried to cut it, and actually cut it very well inside the 10, but he couldn't keep it in bounds. Jones, it's a 3-0 scoring run for McNicholas. And that one goes into the net. 19-11. McNicholas with the lead, St. Charles with the serve, Donovan Tim with the honors.
And here's the battle in mindset here. As a server, you could really go for it, or you got to get it in. I mean, at this point, what is your best option as an individual is the way you need to handle it.
Ethan Gundrum cross court to the back corner. Gets a point for the Rockets, 20-11. McNicholas on top. Gavin Gerhardt to serve, the first teamer. Dug out by Kesters, right back to him, and Kesters with the answer, a big swing to the middle back.
Kester can do it all. I mean, he went right through the block. He saw that hole there. I mean, his vision up there is just, he's doing a great job of making sure that he makes the right attack every time, depending on the scenario.
Thomas Clark was the server, and that is another big swing. That off the arm of Gundrum, past LaSousa, and out of play, 21-12.
I love it when Ethan Gundrum's front row. He's such a threat, and it's coming from the right side. I mean, typically your outside hitter is your strongest hitter, but to have one on the right is just awesome.
Kaser trying to paint that back line just a smidge too long. 21-13, McNicholas has the lead. Kesters to the serving line. He's very good from there. This time, though, he's into the net.
A little bit of disappointment there coming from himself and his teammates. They really wanted that point.
Ethan Gundrum out of the front row. He's back at the serving line. 6'3" setter. High toss. Received by Kesters. Clark outside. Hankinson into the block. Off Hankinson and out of bounds. The point goes to McNicholas. And now they just need two to send it to set number 5. 23-13.
So now on the flip side, being this far ahead, McNicholas has nothing to lose at this point. So they're going to go up and they're going to rip the serve just like Gundrum's going to do right now.
He did, and that's out of bounds.
Just out of bounds.
So close. Gundrum says that was on the line. But the line judge raised his flag, and he had the best look at it in the gym. 23-14. With the serve coming to number 8, Matthew Brown, who comes in for LaSousa. Brown floats it to the back. Jones to Kaser. Jones with a swing, pretty good swing, but received well. Back set by Kaser. Jones into the block, they keep it alive. To Jones again, and they're going to call a double hit on the set.
What a cool play, though. Did you see Kaser? He's the libero. He's not allowed to set the ball with his hands in front of the 10-foot line to deliver to a hitter. So instead he took off, jumping from behind the 10-foot line to set the ball in front of it. I mean, just that's the volleyball IQ I'm talking about. Like, that's
exactly
just
right.
impressive.
Set point for McNicholas, 24-15. Carson Tierney hoping to send his team to set number 5. And he does, serving off of LaSousa and out of bounds. 25-15, set number 4 goes to McNicholas, and that means there will be a 5th and deciding set. They will toss the coin. We'll tell you who won the coin toss and what's going to happen when we return. This is Championship Volleyball from the OHSAA on the NFHS Network. Set number 1 went to St. Charles, 25-21. Set number 2 went to McNicholas, 25-16. Number 3 went to St. Charles, 25-23. Number 4 went to McNicholas, 25-15, which brings us to set number 5. And Jackie, the rules for set number 5, the rules don't really change, but the scoring is a little different. You don't play to 25.
Right, we're going to go to 15. You have to win by 2, and there is no cap, meaning this could go on and for a long time until somebody wins by 2 points.
They also flipped a coin to see who would get to serve, and the serve was won by St. Charles. So Jack Kesters will step to the serving line. And here we go with this all-important 5th set, winner take all for a state championship. Set to Gundrum, dug out by Clark, bumped by Kesters, and a swing by Tig, and he misses into the net.
Yeah, that was a weird one. We talked yesterday about good, bad, and weird plays. It's just a weird one, and all the guys know that, so they're just moving forward.
Ethan Gundrum to the serving line, 1-0. McNicholas with the lead. Off of LaSousa. Kesters, now they're going to free it across. Clark, great job with the short. Tierney off the touch, and then off of Clark and out of bounds. 2-0 McNicholas.
McNicholas, they've got the communication going. They are definitely talking about what's going on, and especially like that ball that came over that was a free ball. Typically it goes to zone 1, but instead it came to the other side of the court, and they were on top of it.
Gundrum too long on that serve. 2-1, McNicholas leads. St. Charles gets the side out and will go to the serving line. It's going to be Matthew Brown coming off the bench, as he has the last couple of sets, to serve for LaSousa. Brown, a 6-foot junior opposite hitter, or outside hitter, I should say. Jones, Kaser. Jones sends it across. Back set. Tig, too strong. St. Charles asking for a touch, none seen. The point goes to the Rockets, 3-1. LaSousa back in for Brown. Carson Tierney to the serving line. Off the tape, LaSousa digs it up. Clark outside, Hankinson, big swing, point Cardinals.
I think that's what we're going to continue to see, the back and forth. It's almost setter versus setter at this point. Who can get their hitters one-on-one?
Tierney comes out for the Rockets. In is Jack Sampson in the back row. The jump serve by Teg. Dug out by Kaser. Quick one in the middle. Dillard tosses it across. Outside, Hankinson. Kaser with the bump set. Outside, Gerhardt. Clark to Hankinson. Down the line, out of bounds. 4-2, McNicholas. Bryce Dillard to the serving line for the Rockets. He serves Kesters. Bumper. Hankinson goes across. Dillard comes up with it. Outside. Gerhardt down the line and in. Gerhardt goes up, turned his shoulders and went line. Timeout St. Charles.
Caught the line. There, McNicholas is lucky, and they're catching the line where St. Charles is barely missing it out of bounds. I mean, we're talking about millimeters at this point.
5-2. McNicholas with the lead. St. Charles takes the timeout. We'll take one as well and be right back. Set number 5 of the OHSAA Division II State Championship. More to come after this. Bryce Dillard back to the serving line for McNicholas out of the timeout. They lead it by 3, 5-2. Playing to 15, win by 2 in this 5th set. Hankinson across, Gundrum, back set. Gerhardt hits Kesters, she sends it across and out of bounds. Point for McNick.
Yeah, good velocity on that ball. It's hard to take some of that off. I mean, it's almost like you're there and changing the direction of the ball, so a ball coming at you 60 miles an hour is going to travel out of bounds at 60 miles an hour if you don't get your angle right.
Outside, Gerhardt. Again, off the block and down, and the Rockets have everything working here in set number 5.
Yep, they've got the rhythm, they've got the momentum. They're running back quickly to prepare to serve. The referee has to beckon for serve if they're back there and ready, and so they're kind of controlling the speed of the game right now.
Dillard, that one's a little too long. He was trying to paint it right inside the back corner and could not do it. Hankinson to the serving line. St. Charles trails by 4, 7-3. Kaser with the dig. Gundrum outside. Gerhardt too strong.
And that's what St. Charles is hoping for. A few unforced errors coming from the other side gives them the run that they want.
McNick 7, St. Charles 4. Hankinson for the second time. Kaser. Gundrum outside. Gerhardt. Dug up by Tig. Free one across. Gundrum outside. Gerhardt again into the block and off of Gundrum, off of Gerhardt. The point to St. Charles, and now it's 2. Timeout Rockets. McNicholas 7, St. Charles 5, but the momentum is with the Cardinals at the moment. More to come in set number 5 after this timeout. This is championship volleyball from the OHSAA on the NFHS network. Seven to 5, McNicholas has the lead, but St. Charles has scored a couple in a row, 3 in a row to be exact, and Hankinson back to the serving line looking to make it 4. The high toss into the net.
That's an unfortunate service error. Kind of an unwritten rule in volleyball is after a timeout you don't miss your serve. You got to hit it up and you got to get it in, even if it's a lollipop serve.
So that point goes to Julia Mulvey, the coach of the Rockets. Hankinson, they're going to try to free it across, and they do. Kaser, Jones, back set, big swing, goodness gracious. Gundrum.
We've seen him be a phenomenal leader for his group. Not only is he leading with his voice and his temperament, but he is leading them by getting some amazing kills on the right side.
With momentum what it is, Ned Gruber takes a timeout, gives his team a chance to regroup. They trail by 4, 9-5, playing to 15, win by 2. And this is it, the 5th and deciding set. McNicholas won sets 2 and 4, St. Charles won sets 1 and 3.
So prior to COVID situations, at 8 points in a deciding set, the teams would switch sides to make sure that there was no disadvantage in a deciding set. But since COVID, they have adopted kind of just staying on your own side, but it's still a momentum thing. You want to be the first team to 8, and McNicholas has done that. We're at 9-5.
The Rockets still in the huddle, coming out now. St. Charles already out on the floor. The serve coming off the arm of Ben Jones. This will be his second serve. The last one earned him a point off the arm of Gundrum. Jones serves Hankinson. Outside. Kesters. Jones. Gerhardt. Jones again. Back set. Gundrum. Off the block. It rolls down the net and falls on St. Charles' side. The point goes to the Rockets.
So I had mentioned earlier that I think this is the strongest rotation for McNicholas because they have Gerhardt and they have Gundrum in the front row. And the fact that Ben Jones is able to hang on to his serves I jinxed him every time I say something like that. I'm so sorry, Ben Jones.
Ben Jones seems okay.
Okay.
10-6, McNicholas has the lead. That's maybe why he's okay. Donovan Tim to serve. Good reception by Kaser. Outside, Gundrum off the touch. Kesters, Clark, back set. Teague, ouch. He hit it well, but he couldn't keep it inside the lines, and now McNicholas leads by 5, 11-6. Gavin Gerhardt to the serving line. This kid is first team all region, and he's only a junior. He'll be back next year. Outside, Kesters goes up and dunks it home in front of Jones. Nice play.
Yep, right over that tandem. That ball is so fast, it's hard to tell if it's going to the middle attacker or the outside attacker at that point. Plus, you throw in an off-speed shot. It's very hard to defend.
Kaser, Jones, quick one. Tossed across. That's Jay Clifton with a point.
I think that's the perfect time to start throwing this in. I mean, we know that that's a weakness of St. Charles is that tip, that campfire area. If they're not communicating 100%, that's going to be a hard ball for them to get.
Outside to Teague into the block and down. Good swing by number 12. The point goes to St. Charles.
He needed that. He's been off his game here this set, so he needed a kill to go his way, and maybe that'll change his momentum.
Jack Kesters to serve. Jones, back set. Gundrum, too strong.
Hoping for a touch. Actually, I think that was what his intended choice was to get the hands of the blockers, just missed barely.
12-9, McNick. Kesters into the net. Visibly frustrated is Jack Kesters. McNicholas by 4, and they need 2 for championship point. Ethan Gundrum to serve for the Rockets. Into the net.
That's got to make Jack Kester feel better because he was really upset that he missed that serve, but they were able to wash it out. Now they're back in action.
Matthew Brown comes off the bench. He's kind of a serving specialist in this match. And that one's into the net. And now it is championship point for McNicholas. Carson Tierney to serve. LaSousa comes in. Tierney. Clark, back set. Teague in there.
This is not over yet. To have your player to watch on the back line in this scenario is the best option for St. Charles. But McNicholas, they're holding a lot of cards right here.
Kaser, Gundrum, Dillard off the block, onto the floor. And the state champions in 2024 in Division II are the Rockets of Archbishop McNicholas. An epic 5-set match between these two clubs. Great play on both sides. McNicholas comes out with the win, 21-25, 25-16, 23-25, 25-15, and 15-11 in the championship set to take home the hardware to Cincinnati.